at Philadelphia to do another drawing on this fine piece of paper, Bristol. This is even recyclable Bristol by Canson. The materials I'll be using is this magic pencil, number 2, magic brush, Winsor Newton Series 7, number 4, and of course you probably already know this, magic ink, FW, acrylic artist ink, and a magic sharpener. All magic because, you know, I only do magic. But there's some basics that you have to already know going into this. You have to know a certain amount of perspective. You have to know basic breakdowns of rectangles, you know, circles within the form. You should have a small amount of composition, at least a certain amount of balance. So when I get into this, you'll see. I'll try to talk through it and tell you what I'm thinking as I'm doing it. The first thing that, when I prepared for this, I was thinking, what should I draw? And I thought, well, I want to do a female for this one, and I thought something like a witch or something. So that's my idea, and as I think of this, I'm already starting to think of dynamics, lines, what I want her to do. And my initial thinking was that I'm going to have her holding out her cape and maybe conjuring up, making motions to conjure up a spell. And there might be like a floating book, enchantment book, and just coming up with it. So that's how I'm going to start off with, and let's see if we can get going. Okay, here we are. Like I said, it's going to be a witch conjuring up a spell. So just briefly, like I said, you need to know things like a circle's a head and a torso and stuff like that. You need, you know, cylinders for arms and cylinders for fingers. You need to know that stuff already. So anyways, what we're going to do is start her off and get her neck in here and just start scribbling around and see what's coming up. And then we got torso, but we want to make her kind of a cute, sexy witch. Give her a nice cut in the hips. Give a nice bend to her back, and then this left arm will come up. Maybe start conjuring. Bend it a little bit. This right arm will extend out, so I'm lifting everything, and have her holding her cape that she'll have. And we'll get some cape flowing in here. And now again, being that this is just a sketch, I'm not too worried about, you know, totally how this is going to end up, but we'll try to make it look nice. And now I'm starting to fill in a little bit anatomy. Like say if there's a cylinder here, I already know that. So I'm starting to put in biceps and shoulders, a little tricep action, collarbone, just to break it in. And I'm thinking of getting her head tilted back a little bit to give her some drama, as this hand becomes, it needs to be a little bit expressive. Get her fingers stretched out. Maybe this one's pointing because I don't have a lot of room up there. It'll be pointing more at you. And this one comes out. Maybe this one will be pointing a little bit more at you too, and then this one can go out. We'll figure that out. This looks a little long. But anyways. Alright. And we'll just, because I'm here, I'll put a little jewelry kind of on there. We'll give her a headband. Something made out of like bones or a little maybe a little dragon thing on her emblem on her head here. And her hair will start to be expressive and flow out, because the whole thing needs to be like whoosh, you know. You always have to have those sound effects to create your expression and have some fun with it. But her eyes are glaring to conjure. And then we'll give her some necklaces. We'll go down. This hand will break. So it kind of sits like at a bend, holding biceps. But the whole thing is, while you're drawing it, you want to be creating some type of story. You want to be thinking, you know, as much as possible to give you a sense of who this is. You know, what's she doing? You know, is she calling up a zombie? Is she, you know, talking to the devil? You know, is she doing a love potion for somebody or something, or whatever? The more you can think about the character, the better it is for you as the artist to understand what you're portraying. And we can do like maybe paint across her face here. And these will be, some of these will be bone necklace. And some of them will just be chunks of rocks and beads. Okay. Now we'll get into her hips. We can go, we'll keep it easy and just make her straight up. But you gotta have some proportion in here. Find out where things are. Legs. There are rules of heads that it's like 8.5 heads or 8 heads, you know, for like superhero drawings and stuff like that. But you try to think about that already, and you try to just gear off of it and do what you want. Sometimes I have a habit of drawing bigger heads than bodies, and that can be a problem. But it's also style, you know. You see a drawing like that and you go, well, that's a Vigil. He's all screwed up. But let's give her some booty. And then keep her legs bent. Accentuate some type of the femininity of the character. The bends, curved lines do that a lot with women. You want them curving and smooth. Should be wearing some kind of belt or maybe a cloth or something hanging here in front of her crotch. Alright, let's see how that's looking.